Don't check.
Hey, I decided not to cancel the podcast.
And we're off.
We got a new subscriber. I was right on the ledge, about to jump, and I was like, maybe I'll reconsider.
And then Brett said, validation!
I know. I crave sweet validation. I don't know. I think we're supposed to, like, build rapport with the audience that doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am an adult male. I am taller than average, and
I like to go grocery shopping.
I'm a fan of shoes.
Once again this week we're sponsored by Glade Vapo. Damn it. Glade Blue Odyssey, Odyssey Azul.
Blue Odyssey.
Ooh.
Oh, you know who's carrying that now? I have to tell everybody, since they're a sponsor, you can get Blue Odyssey for $1 at Schnucks.
Ooh.
Right. Sure.
Ooh, in other news, did you hear Vicks Vapo Rub makes lozenges now? So
No.
I can eat the Vapo Rub.
You can eat Vapor Rub now?
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm really excited.
Well, they haven't been a sponsor in a while, so.
No. Christopher J. Wyman's here.
Oh,
Beep,
I'll get
beep.
it.
The Wyman.
Beep, beep. Oh, you stay with me? I know, I love you!
You're not Christopher J. Wyman.
No, you have
my
to wait until you
God.
calm down.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Christopher J. Wyman.
All right.
I mean, Nathan Parks. Just glade at his chair. Ah! Just like Mr. Rogers' satanic neighborhood.
Is the door already?
I think so, unless he has really effeminate knuckles.
Wait, I'll look out the thing.
Was he rapping on...
No. No. He does this every time.
We were just
Now
about
you're his favorite.
to... We were just about to talk about you behind your back.
I know. There's a person.
Anyway, you have very effeminate knuckles. That's what I'm saying.
You're very feminine. No, wait.
Here's some things.
Well, stop it.
All the way down.
Good boy.
Down in my soul. Ooh, let's do Alice in Chains.
Let's do Alice in Chains. That's
Here
funny.
comes the rooster. It's gonna fucking die. I don't. Somebody pick something. I don't know. Quit humping.
I mean, I can't blame him. I would hump my leg too, but
We'll have reached podcast success when we
Oh, no, it'll be plenty loud.
get all of them filled. So if we had one more guest, I could end the podcast forever.
Yeah, you'd have as many members.
so-
you'd have as many people following as you had guests.
Everyone that follows just comes over
Like, why are we even recording
for
this?
one final.
Hey, why don't we just get together in a room and listen to an album and bitch about it?
Just do a book club. Okay.
Take an extra step.
All right, we'll go back to the
Well, he
choice.
likes to make
You can just
everything
hang
difficult.
Hang out and do this.
Brett loves making everything difficult. No, it has to be. I have to edit it and upload it to the internet so everybody can hear my dumb opinions.
All right, bro, let's flip a coin. Do you have a coin? You want to have a coin?
Flip one in your head and choose randomly.
It'll either be
You can't do that?
It'll either be Goodbye Yellow Brick Road or the Sgt. Pepper's movie soundtrack. Why does no one have change? What country?
Let's find one of
do we live
Nathan's albums. He said he records our. Oh, he doesn't record anything.
We can do
right. See, he doesn't want.
We can do the Rocky IV soundtrack. Fine, I'll flip a goldfish.
What does it mean?
flip it into my mouth.
Elton John, it is.
Well, now I'm in a good mood because when it was just us, I was like, I want to kill myself. So let's just do this horrible album.
I'm glad I knew nothing.
All right, Goodbye Yellow Brick
Very
Road.
nice.
All right. I don't know why I bothered.
Okay, I know nothing about this album. I don't like Elton John.
This is gonna be awesome. Lay down.
Don't feel pressured to say
Lay
anything.
down.
But if you go long enough without saying
No.
anything, you get tasered.
Okay.
Let's just give a little slice of life here. How's your life been doing?
Great.
Yes,
Just great.
You said that too loud with your teeth.
well, I have to say to our one new subscriber, Mia Ogden, she has a sexy name. I wonder where she lives. Anyway, hi Mia Ogden. Here's our newest guest, Christopher J. Wyman, joined by third-time guest.
Is all your hair
Just
the
gonna
same
keep
length all
interrupting.
around your head? Was that planned?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, third-time guest, Nathan. You're a regular now.
Because if you look, you're
basically.
sitting next to Brett,
Third
who
time.
has no hairs the same length.
Well,
Yeah, so,
So your guys are like contradictory to each
Yeah.
other.
I asked Joanna if she ever wanted to do the podcast at the end. She was like, "No, I don't like talking bad about people's music." I'm like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of music, is to dump on it.
I also don't like talking
the
bad
main
about
point.
people's music, except for Elton John. It just so happens.
Hey,
I'm-
alright.
Oh, that's gonna work out well.
No, I have nothing against
He
Elton
got away
John
from me. He wants to
particularly.
see you.
Oh, hey,
Okay,
puppy, please,
so-
please, no.
He mostly
Please, get
just wants to
down,
lay
get down.
on the couch behind you. Come over here and lay down. Come on.
All right, let's narrow it in. I'm like a 5 out of 10 Elton John fan.
Yeah.
I love Benny and the Jets.
I've never dug deep
love-
on it or anything.
I love Mona Lisas and Mad Hatters, but his stuff is it's not tight enough. He's clearly, him and what's his name,
Bernie?
Bernie Taupin, they're clearly great songwriters, but their stuff is just like, I like stuff that's very condensed and tight or sprawling, and Elton John is kind of in this weird middle period. I fully recognize that he's great and he's a legend, but I don't really care that much.
Candle in the Wind. Come
I've heard this album and I enjoy it, but we'll see how that goes. Honestly, I think his redo for Princess Diana's death was better when he was like, "You were chased by the paparazzi like a candle in the wind."
Yeah, that was a weird. The candle in the wind turned into Princess Diana.
You died in
I don't think he
a
thought
car
anyone would. He didn't think
crash.
anyone would notice.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to.
I don't really understand this metaphor. You're like a candle in the wind?
Wait, I just heard recently that was like the best-selling single of all time.
Probably.
I hate
People
humans.
like royal people for some reason. You know what was all over the news today? I'm dating
Jesus.
this now. No, that the American girl that just got married to one of the
No,
Harry Ballsack.
Harry Styles.
Yeah,
Harry Styles.
I have no idea. She's
That's his
pregnant and
name.
she's gonna have a kid. I'm just like, who cares? Doesn't that happen all the time? Like,
Miracle of Life happens for 83rd billionth time.
yeah, like, so she can get knocked up. Okay.
Has anyone ever
Or
tried
he
to
has the ability to.
He has royal sperm as well.
Has anyone
Yeah.
ever tried to calculate
Or
how
they're
many
so
humans
inbred.
have existed by
What?
this point?
How long? What?
Has anyone tried to calculate how many humans have existed?
Yeah, definitely. That's
Well,
the thing that's
I
been
don't think
calculated. Yeah.
it's not a hard.
That's really.
It's not difficult to like
Okay.
Yeah.
retrace that.
My laughter didn't infer that it was difficult. I'm just saying. It's just,
I mean, I haven't, but I am
curvature.
aware that others have.
It's like twice as much as the population. There's only been like
I hate this album
7
already.
billion people
We're not even
before.
listening.
Yeah, I heard once they hit 7 billion, there are more people living right now than have died.
Yeah,
Something like
there's a
that.
huge curve. I mean, forever there was just like 100 people, like forever.
we are so nobody.
I know. It was like
we-
we sit there in wonder of.
We're basically
every-
monkeys
like,
trying to
there were-
pretend like we're somebody talking this. Hi, Mia Ogden.
We're always like, Aborigines. Wasn't that crazy when we found out there were people on an island in the South Pacific? And you know, back when there was only 100 people, they were probably like, yeah, that's Bob.
If humans last as long as the dinosaurs, then the number of people alive right now is like something like 1/100th of 1% of the total number of humans.
Shut up.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I had something I was
I
going to say.
hope you're making that up, because
Oh, the Easter Island.
it depends on how long humans last.
Because I can just
Or how
start
many
making shit up. We can just do that. That'd be
exist
fun.
total.
Remember,
Made up stats.
remember how those assholes on
Pretty fun.
Easter Island, they're like,
I'm just gonna make up
just
my own
cut down all
facts.
our trees. That's not going to come back.
Popular
on
mistakes.
That's the way everybody does now, right?
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
That's what the politics are now.
All
Just
right,
make
can
up your own
we
facts.
can we talk about Elton John here?
All right, I think he's gay.
That's true. Last thing I saw him in
He
was
wears
in
glasses.
Kingsman 2, And
he was going bald and then he
got a
wasn't. I don't know what that's all about.
his horrible cameo in Kingsman 2. Oh, whatever. Coming back to Elton John, he sort of falls into like he always got thrown into the glam rock thing, but I never thought of him as glam rock. I have never compared him to like Mark Bolan or David Bowie's like Ziggy era stuff or like Slade, glam rock. I never thought of that other than him just wearing stupid outfits. Mm-hmm. But he kind of got thrown into that.
He was on the Muppet Show all the time when I was a kid.
Cool glasses.
The point is he's just not cool.
Show?
I'm starting the album. All right, here's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
I was going to get my wife that for Christmas. They had the entire series of the Muppet Show. And I was just going to buy it and give it to her. And it was like, you keep talking about you like the Muppets.
Did she like Fraggle Rock too?
Why I associate this with Dark Side of the Moon?
I believe I read somewhere that Elton John beat the shit out of Steve McQueen one time.
Because of the Dark Side of Oz.
Mm-hmm. Does this have anything to do with Wizard of Oz other than his...
Maybe that's what Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is about. When he got in a fight with Steve McQueen.
Oh, I hate this album cover
kicked his
so
ass
much.
And Steve McQueen was really pissed because he got his ass kicked by a gay man.
Wait! Oh, I forgot Benny and the Jets is on this. Isn't there a Beatles cover on here?
Does Elton John have any other songs that have a really cool rhythm?
Ooh,
like
this is a long album.
Was that
We've
the
talked
only
for
one?
Oh no!
Philadelphia Freedom. Hello.
Oh no!
76.
Zach Brown Band did a bonus song. We're not listening to that.
Oh man, I love John Grant though.
I thought he did Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds on this.
That was William Shatner.
I'm not
So
starting
this was the guy who was the singer for Judas Priest, right?
Elton John was definitely the lead singer of Judas Priest.
Funeral for a Friend, Candle.
Yeah, I love that band.
Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jazz, Goodbye.
And then later he was the lead
The Ballad of
on
Donnie Bailey.
that Lion King play. He did that too.
Did he play Simba?
Pretty sure.
Oh, get whatever. All right, here's the stupid album.
What's really funny is he's going to edit this down to just like...
Ow!
It's just going to be like a couple of minutes.
Plain.
Just edit out to where you just hear our breath and like edit out every word and you were just like, oh, that synth is cool.
No, it's f***ing awful.
You're not allowed to like it.
It was 20 years ago today. Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play. Going.
Oh, wow. Brett suddenly turns into Tom Waits doing the
I can't hear
Beatles.
it that well. You should turn it up a little bit.
No, it's just that boring. It's very loud. Oh
It's
god!
like a concept album.
It's like a horrible mixture of Shine On You Crazy Diamond
you would've
and
hated-
Dreamweaver.
You would have hated the 70s. Every album was like this.
I like this stuff. It sounds cool. Even if
Oh,
it's like,
man.
even if it's cheesy, like
Yeah, wait till your dad pulls out Mike Oldfield in that Tubular Bells album.
Tubular Bells.
it's like a MIDI version of
Yeah.
The only Elton John album I've listened to is this like 90s album he did. It was all love songs and it was complete garbage. My mom had it when I was a kid. Just
Captain
crap.
Fantastic.
Just absolute crap.
Shit on Frampton Comes Alive.
I mean, it's your podcast. We can
Shit
start
over
it. We can.
let's talk about what
Oh
it should have
god.
been.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This
Brett
is
can't
It's
even-
almost about to start.
Wants to do.
We can't. You can't go back now. This is
Yeah, I can. There's a first song veto. I'm doing the
No way.
Sergeant Peppers. I
You
hate
need
How
this.
long is this first
This is
song?
fucking
So,
garbage.
About
on
12
this
minutes.
album, you get 12 minutes to veto it.
I'm switching
I
it.
can't believe you went that far and now you want to stop. We're halfway done with the album.
No. This is the worst intro to anything I've ever heard. I hate this.
I want a
All
really
right.
grandiose intro.
this is a
That goes
it's all of a
nowhere.
sudden disco.
Like-
It's funny.
This would be great if we were roller skating.
This is like disco right before disco hit.
Nope.
I think he created disco.
You should do this
No.
podcast roller skating. That's a good idea.
Ooh, the Beatles, but worse.
We're actually doing Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the movie.
We all knew it the whole time too. Like
I know.
it was an inside joke with the song.
Who does?
1, f*** you Peter Frampton. 2, f*** you the Bee Gees.
No.
Well, I guess I can rewind and say
There's not a rewind on the microphone, Brett. That's not how this works.
It's weird.
Oh, you don't know.
You can take the sound back.
No,
I want my life back.
Just wait. Just wait. He likes to invite you over, and then he edits you out of it. So
no, I admire that this album.
No, you don't.
That they took the greatest album of all time, and whether they were intended to or not, created the giant sack of the 70s.
I would love to evaluate this in isolation, but I feel like it's a soundtrack to a movie. You gotta watch the movie to really.
No.
Did people just listen?
This
to
is
it?
his first soundtrack.
Why? I mean, it just sounds like the original, but like
Worse.
slightly bigger.
Yeah, like why not just do a
Slightly.
podcast about like a Lifetime movie soundtrack? It's kind of out of context.
Yeah.
How
This would be
boring
like
is
when
this?
you watch.
Have you seen the movie? Is it
This
good?
is like when you watch one of those documentaries and they don't have the licensing to play any of their actual music. I watched one of those one time, a Beatles documentary. It was just like they have this really canned, almost Beatles songs.
Oh, but this one loses all the cuteness without Ringo singing it. I
Fine.
mean,
Okay.
Right.
like this guy sounds like
Who
he's a
is
real
this?
singer.
It's Peter Frampton.
Oh, he came alive.
So we just get the real thing that's so vibrant and just full of life, and then you have this weird turd featuring the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton.
Guys,
This
we
is
should,
like, you know what this reminds me of? When you go to Pandora and you say, I want to hear the Beatles, and they play a bunch of people playing
just
Beatles
studio
songs.
musicians. Yeah, because they didn't get the licensing for the original song.
To be honest, this just sounds like a preset on a keyboard, but
I'm sure it was. We should not spend this podcast listening to this, though, and talking about it. We should pause this and just do an a cappella version of the entire album. That'd make a much better podcast.
okay. No.
No, we should do it. But we have to.
Come on, there's four of us.
No,
We
but
got-
we have to pick a style to do it in. You got to do Sgt. Pepper's in the style of Wu-Tang Clan.
Full barbershop.
Now, that would mean I'd have to go read about what Wu-Tang Clan is.
We're gonna do a Be Kind Rewind version of
No.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Bone Thugs Hearts Club Band.
Yeah.
Miss my Uncle Charles.
More synth.
So shut up, bitches.
We should just keep switching albums the entire time.
Got another
Yeah.
thing coming.
Okay, people
Wait,
who are
no.
following along, now we're doing Abacab.
No, it's just fake out intros. Technical problems and fake out intros.
What
Thank
year
you.
did this come out?
81
I haven't heard this one.
or 82.
It's
I
Phil
recognize-
Collins.
I recognize this song.
This is only our second Genesis.
Ziggy, no. Lay down.
I'm surprised. Although we frequently talked about Abacab.
Lay down.
Yeah, finally. I mean, we
The
probably won't get
podcaster
through it,
is
but
drunk.
All that tomato.
we've talked about Abacab a lot. All right,
It's
last
trying to become
we
a
did,
joke.
Yeah,
It's like,
we did.
we're going to do Abacab someday.
Yeah, we've already talked about the entire. I've already talked about the
You
entire
should stop it
album.
right now
in
and do
other-
Shapes. That's my favorite Genesis album.
All right, third fake out. Yeah, because that one has Mama on it. That's more
Actually-
accessible to the group.
I love Genesis. I would just listen to this. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would too.
All right,
Well, the problem with,
Fifth and
here's
final
the funny
fake
part,
out.
though. It's hard to listen to something that you like and comment on it, like, in a critical way. It's much better to be critical about something you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
When you like it, it's like, yep, I like it.
I just
Fifth and final
yeah,
fake
cool.
out
I
of the
haven't heard
night.
this one.
All right. I'm editing
What's
most of that out. We're doing. It's a nice short album. Genesis 1983. Their Shapes album. This is Mama.
It's their
One of my
greatest album.
all-time favorite Genesis songs.
Didn't they have an album or two like after Phil Collins left the band or something?
One.
Let's
They
do that
got,
one.
They got some Australian dude.
Let's change again. Was it Michael Hutchins from In Excess?
No, and then it was
Was it the guy
Yeah.
from Mike and the Mechanics?
no, it was the he was still in the band, but like the two remaining guys were like, I don't want to have to like tour small venues anymore.
Mike Judge and Kirk Cameron.
Get it over with.
Wasn't Kirk Cameron in Genesis for a while?
That's why they did the soundtrack to God's Not Dead.
That was it. Left Behind, the musical.
Okay, now that we're actually talking about a good Genesis album, because we did Invisible Touch, which is, I don't know, I don't listen to it that much. I mean, it has songs on it I like.
It's pablum.
So this is the first Genesis album that I regularly listen to. Mama is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, it's fun to get drunk and scream this at the bar.
Is this the part of the song where it goes into like
in 2 minutes. So yeah, there's that whole category of Phil Collins. I think it started within the Air Tonight, where atmospheric, repetitive drum machine thing that builds up to a
crescendo.
Yeah, so like tonight, Mama, In the Air Tonight, Don't Care Anymore. There's some others, and I'm blanking.
That's the part that makes it art.
But I think this is the best of that formula that they ever did, and I think this might be in the top 5 best like pop era Genesis songs.
I like that.
Yeah, Phil Collins definitely has a sound.
I really love when the dinky synthesizers come in. He's like a little leprechaun running around.
And he's like an angry little man.
Cool.
In the and little synthesizers make it sound like his little tapping feet running around like boom.
Did you guys ever listen to Mike and the Mechanics? Like,
Hell no.
I just grew up like for some reason my parents were in.
No,
It's funny because it's like,
God, how old are your parents?
they're like,
What are they, like 40?
Mike and the Mechanics is funny. They're like, it's like mental health rock. They're like really inspiring songs. It sounds a lot like this, except like really inspiring songs.
Let me just say, I got to see the
Yeah, that was
Genesis
the other guy in
reunion.
Genesis.
I got to see the Genesis reunion in 2008, and I saw Phil Collins' flabby little face on the Jumbotron doing the and I just wanted to hug him. Now he's ready. Here comes the drum thingy.
Oh, there it is.
Oh man.
Oh, you know he played the drums on this.
He literally, as he got older, should have just started including the like in every
Really
song.
introduce
Just
him.
like in concert, just every single song.
And now, ladies and
Everyone does
gentlemen,
along with him. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone at bars stops what they're doing.
Yeah, people would be so excited. Like, people would have paid so much more money to go see him
Yeah.
live. If that was in
wait,
Holy
I love what you're saying. I love what you.
I just
love
want to
what you
hear
got.
that drum fill
It's-
12
it's-
times.
Listen, it's introducing. He just come out with his autobiography. Phil Collins.
Let's redo Tapestry, but just put in the Phil Collins drum roll. Like, you just call on my name, and you do.
And
His
then
album,
scream it.
he could have an album just called Doo 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 Doo.
I'm playing all my hi-hats. I paid for them. I'm going to use them. That's what we always
so
joked
good.
about Alex
It's probably
Van
hard to be a
Halen.
singer and do complex drum stuff.
I think he mostly live like let another drummer play the drum parts. I mean, all the the live videos I've seen, he seems like he's sort of concentrating on singing.
Seems like one of the instruments where it would be very, very difficult to be.
I feel like this was the last tour where he
Especially if
played the
you're using your
drums.
whole body,
Yeah.
and your voice would get really shaky if you were like.
To be totally serious for a second, I believe, if I remember right, this was the last tour where he played the drums and sang
Oh, really? Okay.
at the same time. You know, kind of like a la the Eagles with Don Henley. He would play the drums and sing at the same time. I remember
Don
as a
Henley
kid
did
being impressed with that, how they could play like and just keep their head in front of that microphone and
Hey,
sing.
you want to get something strapped to your head, really, I would think.
Well, they didn't have anything like that back then. They always was this mic with like a bunch of arms coming over.
Guitar is definitely the easiest to sing and play because, like, rhythmically you can just do the dumbest thing on
Well,
guitar.
sure, if
Just,
you know how to play
strum
guitar.
notes.
I'm sure it's easy. Wells Fargo, we didn't screw up the country, you did.
We're blaming you.
That's the
Established.
tagline.
We're blaming you. It's somehow your
You
fault.
love Brett, don't you? Yes, you do. You love
We should talk about that, like corporate apology ads. Like, we know we did it, but
It was
we know
really
you can't
your
do anything
fault.
about it.
We all have
He's coming
We
up.
all
an
have our bad
intuitive
days.
understanding of the tragedy of
Just
the
tell him
country.
no. Hey, no. Come here.
We all have our bad days.
I know.
Vapo time, Blue Odyssey time.
Brett's got to get his fix.
All right, Brett's huffing Glade
Come
again.
Can you be careful with that? You could kill somebody.
Ooh, they have
That Glade is powerful.
Vapo lozenges now. I don't know if they
Hall's
taste. I don't know
cough
if
drop.
they
Finish your
taste
food?
like
God damn it! That shit
the smells.
stinks.
Or,
Phew,
That's
that
the
Glade
same
is
shit
like
that's in Hall's cough drop.
it's
dog.
like a leprechaun just shit all over my living room.
Brett, what is with this ad? Is this part of the album? What is this? Is this just how many ads are on Spotify?
Ooh, you know what you just
Yep.
reminded me of? I used to have an album with the ads on it. Seek Seek
What a
Sputnik
great business
was one of those
concept.
English dance bands, and between each song there was like these ads for like
Here's That's All.
hairspray, because you know if you wanted to get your mohawk going, you needed hairspray, and there you go.
My cat woke me up
Hey.
a couple days ago by licking the inside of my ear.
Sorry,
Thanks, honey.
I love it.
everything on this album is just until you get to Illegal Alien, because it's kind of like racist as shit.
Yeah.
I always listen to it and try to like
Ugh. Yeah.
He's
Reconcile.
no. You can tell he's not racist because he flew the Concorde from England to
Hey, are
North America to play both versions
Whoa.
of the Live Aid.
you actually
concert.
giving
Okay.
some music history?
that's right. That makes
Wow.
him. You're right.
He's,
I'm sorry.
So you know he's a good dude.
You get
I withdraw
some-
my.
Thank you.
you get some-
That's how you know.
You're
Because
right.
he probably burned like
You're right.
an Olympic-sized swimming pool full of jet fuel to make sure that he
yeah, you should
played
read.
both concerts.
Well, you got to understand, Brett doesn't think anything Phil Collins does just doesn't stink. So it's like I have to like, nah, there's some turds in there.
Well, I mean, it's like a stinky cheese.
If you
Like,
like,
it smells bad, but it
Like French
it tastes
cheese.
good.
Like French cheese. It's like, yeah, I'm American. I don't really have a taste for that. What else you got?
if you want to feel better about your life, read Phil Collins' autobiography, where he,
Oh, is he a sad bazillionaire?
He doesn't know anything about my life.
I'm just saying he.
One time I ordered a cheeseburger and they didn't have the cheese I wanted for it. Oh my God, Phil. How did you get by?
I mean, my general impression from his autobiography was he doesn't seem to get how anything works. I can't really clarify more than that. That's just the impression is like he just makes the same mistakes over and over again. It's like,
Oh, that's so
no.
relatable. God damn it.
Oh my God, I bought a Lamborghini and I forgot I already had one. That's a Phil Collins type mistake.
All right, so back to the song. I will say this has never been anywhere close to my favorite Genesis song, but
That's a good riff, though.
it's so clean and simple and just concise, and it just gets the job done. It's a really
I feel like this is
Kind
one
of
of those songs
throwbacky
that's like a poppy sounding song, but there's complicated parts of it and there's simple part. You know, it's like you can just listen to it on the surface, or you can delve deeper into like the melodies of it and everything. There's things going on.
yeah. But
I
what's,
like songs like that.
yeah, what's interesting about this is like you get because
I like it when you put the effort into
Yeah, 'cause-
a melody or whatever. I like that.
because he was clearly obsessed with like '60s girl bands, but this song has like a lot of
The
like,
trios.
has a lot of like dark chords in it, so it has like a weird dark kind of undertone. So it's kind of a throwback pop song, but it also has this, like, these kind of dark bends to it, which gives it a weird...
Which makes it a Genesis song.
Yeah.
So what was Stephen Hackett doing at this point in history? Where did Stephen Hackett go? Why isn't Stephen Hackett in the band anymore?
He had left the band, like, 4 albums before this.
He was their resident shredder. What?
No, he wasn't. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, he did. He just didn't want to be in the band.
Well, him then.
There's Home by the Sea.
Yeah, you know what's a good one? Who's their first singer? Peter Gabriel?
Solange Knowles.
I like that album of his after he left Genesis, so...
That's so good. I mean, that's a great fucking...
Yeah,
I love
it's
Peter
just-
Gabriel.
I mean, it has, like,
He's the best.
radio-friendly
That's, like, my
hit songs on it,
favorite shit ever.
but it's like... There's, like I said, there's
Speaking of
complicated
soundtracks,
things going on.
Last Temptation of Christ
Yeah.
soundtrack by
That's probably the
Peter
best
Gabriel.
thing he ever did.
So cool.
You think
we
so?
should do that.
I don't know. We're just gonna get sad.
Did you?
This podcast is dead. It's over. I tried.
Just turn it off.
This just devolves. We start trashing the joint. Jason's like, all right, trash my house. That's fine.
Sure. Just this room.
I do like this song a
I have
lot.
to tear everything out of here anyway, so... okay, this is what we gotta do.
You shouldn't have picked a good album, man. What the hell were you thinking?
No, I have.
Well,
I have. I have
Is there
rocking out to
anything?
this.
Is there anything you could criticize about Genesis?
No,
You're a big fan.
No,
Is there anything you wish they did better, or I just wondered?
There's no.
'Cause I can-
There's no like punk to it particularly. Like the songs are not concise.
They're too
like
good?
They're super well composed, really well engineered. Very
Nothing
well
sounds
performed.
raw at all.
Like there's no
Right.
like punk fervor, I guess. And if
the
that's
soul of it, right? Like that.
I mean, there's
Like,
plenty of soul. Like I think there's plenty of soul and
Right.
passion, but like it's not.
I'm just gonna say.
I
don't
could
put
see
words in
like
my
if someone is just too closed-minded to get past the fact that it's really, really polished. It's
Let me go through my spiel since this is what I listen to.
mouth. Now he's getting mad at you. Are you making fun of my?
So there's like 80s new wave. So Genesis transitioned from actual prog rock. In like the only in between album was Duke, which was. But then they went into like this and Invisible Touch and stuff. But they never get played on like Sirius XM first wave stuff. So
Right.
so it's like really close, but not close enough for some reason. So I think it's like more. It's like heavier. I don't know. However you want to like compartmentalize these things. So that's why I've always loved 80s Genesis. There's like a muscle and like a kind of ominous tone to it that kind of separated them from a lot of other semi-hip 80s bands. Roundhouse kick you in the face.
Go flat. And high bars.
I love pop music like this. It's got sort of a dark, thoughtful quality to it. The songs are too long. They're really well written. These like cool musical concepts. They're not easy to learn, particularly as pop songs go. I will say one thing. Probably the only bad thing you'll hear me say about Genesis is that it will kill a party. If you're at a party and like everybody's having a good time, just everybody's like having fun,
Where's Brett going?
and you put Genesis on, this would kill. Like everyone would be like, "Oh,
You have not been at the bar when Brett and I are drunk and listening to Mama at full volume.
yeah."
Then it's a party.
Well, it's a bar. It's not a party. A bar is different.
No.
It's like
A bar is a kind of a constant party, but it is.
yeah. Well,
It's a
so a
sad
bar
party.
needs.
So they like anything. Really.
Look, he's stealing Brett's spot. I got promoted.
These like sort of sad, serious pop songs, like I feel like they don't go over that well at parties unless it's like the hit song. Like if you play "In the Air Tonight" at a party, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, shit, it's on!" But like,
take a
no, but it paused. Well, I guess you can edit the recording. I don't know if you need to. Brett loves editing.
All right, we is back. The rest of Home by the Sea.
There you go.
So what I was saying is 80s Genesis still had the prog rock thing, and it was theatrical, but it also kind of blended in with other 80s kind of artistic new wave stuff, but they still are kind of separate from that, where they don't quite fit in with the new wave thing, because it wasn't quite punk. Like there was never that punk influence, where with a lot of new wave stuff there was punk influence, and with Genesis they never really had that. They were always kind of above the fray.
Maybe they were just the influence.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, because they're one of the few. Oh, cool. Strobe. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I did that.
Your new toy? Is that? Oh,
Yeah. So
No, sit.
So we can talk about that. Here's Second Home by the Sea. What was
Crawl.
What was I saying?
Crawl.
This is a disaster.
Crawl. Crawl.
This is my worst idea.
Breaking out the Vapor Rub. Vapor Rub is calming.
Why are you barking?
No, we could have just done an a cappella version of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
I'm glad we.
Does that like Flash SOS?
I don't remember what I was saying, but
You have to start. Did you start it back up?
yeah, we're on Second Home by the Sea.
Why didn't you tell me?
Did you start the recording again?
We were recording again.
So they had a theatrical.
You said some embarrassing
a
things.
theatrical quality. Yeah, it's recording. Anyway, this is so much better than Invisible Touch. I will say that.
You are freaking me out with that.
Yeah, we realized Invisible Touch.
He's his own disco.
Invisible Touch was it's one of those like kind of skip where I know none of you guys are really Genesis fans, but like the one after I think is actually better.
What are you talking about? I'm a Genesis fan.
What are you talking about?
But not a real Genesis fan.
Yeah, you're not real, but
Yeah, you're not real. You're a figmentation.
I am also
Touche.
not a real Genesis fan.
right. I think
Nathan is a figmentation of your imagination.
yeah, where I think We Can't Dance is actually a better album than Invisible Touch.
That's the one I grew up on.
I'm sorry.
I love that album.
Tonight,
I mean, it's just when you're like 5
tonight,
and you're listening to
drink
an
a
album.
Michelob.
Yeah. So I know it sounds like we're basically like I'm dumping on this. Maybe not, but I love this fucking album. I love 80s Genesis. I love the imagination to it.
Yeah, this is cool.
Like they're still
Yeah, it's great shit.
they're still
Do you like the pineapple top? My wife got those.
It looks like a cool ashtray upside down, like decorative, fancy.
ooh, look, it looks
Like
like
a
Put the pineapple on your head again. That was funny.
Do it, Chris. Do
It almost looks like it's a party.
put the pineapple on your head.
Okay, I'll do it.
Pineapple.
There you go. It's my yarmulke. Nobody said you had to have an ugly yarmulke.
No, he's a good guitar player, though. I like his guitar playing.
So like what was cool?
Everything is good.
What was cool is like the progressive rock element was still there, but but
Yeah, but in the
They-
80s with Phil Collins, it made it accessible to someone like me, sitting in central Illinois and not knowing anything about music, and going, hey, this is kind of cool.
it was almost like they came up with an abridged version of what they were doing in like classic Genesis, where it's like based on classical music, which turned a lot of people off. But they simulated it with like synthesizers, where you get the point with slightly less pretension. It's accessible art rock,
Yeah, there you go.
but they went off the deep end in Invisible Touch.
This is something you and I talk about a lot. It's about what was available to me when because whatever it was like what I could hear on the radio or maybe what my dad would listen to or something. You know what I mean? It's like...
Ready?
You're-
Here's the embarrassing one. We can have a contest here. Which is worse? Not this. I don't know.
This is a commercial.
No. What's worse?
Puppy?
What's worse? Illegal
Please don't
Alien
puppy.
or
No one likes that.
or Who Done It?
Oh, is Illegal Alien, is that the racist one?
No, not at all.
It's no fun being illegal.
Leon.
Okay, so there's Illegal Alien on this, and on Abacab, which I think is basically a perfect album, but then they have that one junk song in the middle called Who Done It. Oh god. But at least that's trying to be like artistic. This is just like embarrassing. Oh no.
I'm so happy.
Oh god.
I need to talk to an OG 80s Genesis fan who was
God.
not on board with the 70s Genesis, but like was just coming of age like in 1983 or whatever, and like super into.
My dad had
80s
all of their
Genesis.
albums.
Like, I just want to know what they thought of this
Can
stuff.
someone look up the lyrics?
Because it is kind of like pretty cool synth art pop. I don't know.
This wasn't the
Although
one
I don't
we
know
listened
this
to,
song.
though. My mom would go to play volleyball on Mondays, and my dad would watch us, and he would put on either Led Zeppelin 2 or Dark Side of the Moon or something like that until we passed out. It was like, that's how he babysat us or whatever. It was just kind of, I'm just going to keep playing the same over and over again until you're just done with it. And that's my biggest problem with, for instance, Dark Side of the Moon. It's just like, I somebody puts that on, starts playing it, my eyelids start getting heavy. And it's like, that's how my dad put me to sleep. You know?
I've never heard this song, but I feel like this was them trying to get into like some kind of punk pop feel, and what they came up with was this. It's no fun being an illegal alien. Is that actually what he said?
That is exactly what he said.
It's weird.
It's so fun when somebody hears something for the first time.
I've never heard this.
I can't remember what it was, but it was somebody. I have no idea what the context was, but it was like somebody talking about
When his visa is written in pencil, not ink.
It was somebody trying to like butter up Phil Collins, being like, yeah, he's written these songs, like socially conscious songs, like
What's that
the
one
one
about
about
the land
homeless
of
people.
illusion?
Yeah.
like Another Day in Paradise, and
Like, Land of Illusion would have been like this song, except the video made it more relevant. Because then it the video with all the puppets as world leaders or whatever made it more...
What's with people in prog rock like doing public service announcement, like Rush, like their lyrics
subdivisions.
They want to
In the base. We should have done that
Man,
album.
I gotta
Damn
find
it.
that Rush song about
In
teen
the
suicide.
basement
I love
bars.
that song.
In the
I don't
backs
remember
of
it. It was on one of their
cars.
90s albums.
Conform or be cast out.
Oh, but yeah. Anyway, whatever this was, somebody was trying to lump this song into like socially conscious. Like, yes, he's talking about the plight of immigrants. Like, no, it was out of touch, rich English musicians who thought they were making a funny song.
Yeah, he just sounds like a British colonialist.
Yeah.
Making fun
Yes.
of-
There you go. You nailed it.
He probably did not intend it with any kind of... I mean, I don't know.
No, he probably didn't, but that's still the way it comes across.
Yeah.
Is
Ziggy,
It's
no.
probably
This
not
is
as
dumb.
bad as Tim McGraw's Indian Outlaw, though.
Come on, buddy. Come over here.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say accidental racist.
Ziggy, no.
Well, Indian Outlaw, man.
He's
that
gonna
song
try you
fucking
again.
cracks me up.
Just an accidental racist.
He wants to lay down on his couch. Right?
That sounds like a good parody song of Indian Outlaw.
I just don't understand the point of this song.
Be good.
I'm not offended
I don't
by
know,
it
I don't know
because
that-
I'm not Mexican, but
And
It's
you
just-
just, even by saying that, you just completely...
Stop sniffing.
Now, you just completely denied the stories of all illegal aliens from other nationalities, man.
no, this
Like,
whole
you think that they're all Mexican?
this idea of like a clap together song of like, yay!
Yeah.
I felt like it
being
was...
an illegal alien sucks.
It's a weird anthem-y.
Well, here's my weird take on it. Like, I grew up in a small
So
town,
bad.
Chillicothe, and everybody that was Hispanic was from Guatemala for some reason, because all their husbands worked at Caterpillar, and they met these women and married them and had kids and then moved back here. So we had this like 30% of the town I grew up in is like Hispanic, and some of them even have some Hispanic names or Polish. You know, like one of my best friends, he was half Hawaiian and half Polish. It's like, so I had all these things that I was just like, I don't understand this racism. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Just taking it
Like,
all
how
too
do I
hard.
have to? Why do I have to like draw lines? You know, it's like, why is that person someone I'm not supposed to like or trust or whatever when I go to school with all these guys and girls, you know, that were
Yeah.
all
That's-
across the
It's just good that
board.
you had that environment to understand that.
Now we're back to a good classy.
No, I didn't
song
even
here.
notice it until I was
Yeah,
it wasn't even.
No one would notice it if they were not taught to notice.
There you go.
Yeah, you
It
have
was
to be
just
careful
kind
with
of.
Here's a question: why did they pick Mexicans for their illegal alien song? Couldn't it be like any group trying to get in?
Oh, is this song actually, is that specifically about Mexican?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
It's-
Well,
I
you
was
couldn't.
just-
You probably couldn't tell because we were talking over it the whole time.
No, well, at least no. Well, at least the
You're
music,
talking over the album.
And then he sprays blade
Like,
in your
I'm trying
face.
to listen here.
like the music video makes it very explicit. They're all dressed up like Taco
They got
Johns.
sombreros and
Oh,
stuff,
okay, I got it.
Yeah.
carrying tacos
Like,
around.
right.
Stereotype.
Where I'm like, okay, so why did you go with like a Mexican stereotype for this?
Yeah, why are you're from England?
I
What
know-
do you care about?
I know it'd be difficult to do like a Polish accent.
Anyone who swims to England from fucking Mexico deserves.
Yeah,
any
let them in,
citizenship.
man.
Jesus
And
Christ.
maybe they didn't want to do like a Jewish stereotype.
Well, you know,
It's-
England is
it's-
full of
it's no- it's
Muslims.
no
They let
fun.
a bunch of Muslims emigrate to England, so they probably couldn't do anything about that. They couldn't say anything about that because that would be a little.
Yes, like
Little
Woody
too on the
Allen.
nose.
It's no fun being
Is that Christopher Walken?
Christopher
Alan.
Walken Allen. No, I'm Woody Allen. No, I'm not an illegal alien.
Oh wait, I'll do my Harrison Ford.
No,
Mexicans. Why did it have to be Mexicans?
no.
This is what we end up doing on the slower songs. And we're on a
racist
tangent.
I like this song. Like that's the
I
thing
like
is.
every song on this album.
No, like okay, we've had it with albums before where it starts to get into easy listening stuff, but like the easy listening stuff is difficult to talk about because it's easy. Like
Well, yeah, Genesis has a lot of stuff like that.
so like I want to
It's
fall
not-
asleep to
Not
it,
quite as.
but it doesn't mean I don't
on
like
top
it.
of.
So I love this song, but
This
at the
song
same
is
time,
great to do the dishes too.
yeah, at the same time I want to fall asleep.
While
to it.
you're super baked.
Ooh.
The only way to do dishes.
Yeah, I remember those.
Until you
days.
find out that you've been washing the same dish for the past 25
Okay.
years.
When all you have in your refrigerator is Zima, and you're just like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna see how many of these it takes to get drunk."
Okay,
And-
so we can talk about the difference between this and Invisible Touch, where
I did that one time.
where like the easier songs, where the song where the album kind of like draws back. Like at least this song still has some tangibility to it. It isn't just like yuppie.
Well, it's all yuppie.
Yuppie. Fine, it's not like totally yuppie like wife swapping music.
Well, this song right now.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most.
Just
It's
a job
the
to do?
name of my
No, I was
first
gonna say
album.
one thing about
Totally
this song.
yuppie wife swapping.
One thing about this song that I really like is they figured out what to do with synthesizers way before other people did. You know, like you hear a lot of 70s stuff and they were just like, it's just like a, you know, it's just like a one noise, like, ooh, let's,
Yeah,
I need some
block
synthesizer on
noise.
here.
Was it Tony Banks? Is that the synth player for? He was. Did he play synth like through the whole thing? Like.
Yeah,
Originals?
he's the keyboardist / synth guy. Yeah, I think this is a very underrated Genesis song. It was one of those like semi hits that doesn't get on like super best of, but
Yeah, what's that? What's
great
that
song.
radio station that plays?
I'm gonna go see.
What's that one called? Bob or whatever. Like,
Fuck
I
you,
mean,
Bob.
every town has a radio station.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
called Bob or Bill
And
or John.
yeah, and Bob plays everything as long as it's a very specific thing.
Right.
They
It
know
all
jazz
has
or
a.
classical or
Yeah,
most
it's just
music.
Or hip hop, or
Well, it's in that. It has this like. You
It's
can
a-
play this at your hair
it's a top
salon.
40 top-
yeah. We play everything as long as it's something that you could imagine hearing at a hair salon.
Yeah, there you go. Because I occasionally catch myself listening to that radio station.
I mean, there's
It's like-
nothing wrong with what they play.
One thing I will say about this album, I would love hearing more songs off of this album when I'm looking for 80s music to listen to. But if you just tell, like, Pandora, I want to listen to 80s music, it plays like 90 Police songs. Like they were the only band in the 80s or something. And then they'll throw one in here and there.
We should
Like,
do
it's a
Police
different-
sometime.
We did Police.
Subdivision.
We did Synchronicity
Oh,
one
you did
time.
Police? Have you done a Rush album yet?
No. I hate Rush.
Which one would you,
You gotta do one of the later shitty Rush albums.
Yeah.
I'll do the one with Subdivision.
Is he wearing the f***ing helmet again?
Subdivision. In the basement bars.
Is there an SOS setting for that? Speaking of police, that flashing light.
No,
It'd
I
be
don't
weird to
think
just
there
see
is,
somebody
dog.
riding a bike down the street with an SOS. They'd be laying on the ground and they just had enough energy to.
Does it
turn on
flash
the
just to make bike riding at night interesting? It's like, no, it's like a strobe light.
Yeah,
It's
you
to
probably
make it into
fall
a
off your
party,
bike.
yeah.
Can you imagine your
Right.
headlights? I can set them to strobe as I'm driving down the street. I just wanted to make things interesting.
You see like a deer. You see a deer head. It's just like gee, whoa.
It's battery.
Still the same song, jeez.
Good God, Genesis, why are your songs so long?
Remember when
'Cause they
Rush
love
did,
them.
And the trees can't help their feelings if they like the way they're made.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, you're that guy. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
your
like-
brain just liquefies.
Oh,
What's your dog's name?
Silver
Ziggy.
Rainbow. Ooh, I love this song. He says the word muggles in it from like Harry Potter. He invented the Harry Potter term.
Is J.K. Rowling a Genesis fan? You think?
Might have been, but he definitely says muggles.
Are they like royalty at the level of like Rolling Stones and Beatles and
Yes.
shit, or, like, I mean, like, do like, well, probably not at that level, but
Like-
like, do British people, are they like,
For me or British
well,
population?
for British
Oh.
British people? I mean, obviously, U.S. people don't give a fuck about.
I think they're at the end of like Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, Who, Floyd, like Genesis.
Okay,
Genesis.
they're
is-
like 28th on the list.
no, they're in the top like 15.
Okay.
But I don't think they're on. They're in general. I don't think they're on like.
Isn't
They're up.
David Bowie number one, like the most famous person in Britain? Like the
Probably.
person that everyone likes the most
Yeah.
on their list of like
I don't know,
every
man.
human
Like,
being.
yes, but Paul McCartney might be.
I think no, I heard it
like-
was like
I was told
They like
Paul
David
McCartney
Bowie.
is the
Paul-
most
Paul
famous
McCartney
person
is
in
just
England. Like,
Paul
he can't do
McCartney,
anything in
you know what I
England.
mean?
Paul McCartney is probably the only billionaire musician, right? I would think.
Well, yeah, David Bowie's dead.
The dude, I don't think he was anywhere close to his
Yeah,
riches.
this is a great f***ing song.
You're reminding me of somebody. Hold on.
Doo, 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 doo. Beyond the silver rain, beyond the silver rainbow, you are.
The Silver
You
Rain?
never
Was this
know
like
if you
in
come
competition
or
with Peter
go.
Gabriel's Red Rain? Was there a rivalry? I don't even know if there was a rivalry.
There was a lot of overlap. I mean, they were in the same band at one point, and I'm sure they looked up to they admired each other, and Phil Collins probably looked up to him. But yeah, there was a lot of overlap up until Phil Collins just started doing like easy listening stuff. But for a while there, even when I first got into
Is
Genesis,
that a theremin?
yes.
That's cool.
Like even when I first got into Genesis and was listening to early Genesis, like I couldn't tell the difference between like on crap, what's
No, they sounded so similar, yeah.
like now they don't sound anything alike to me, but
Right.
like at the time it So I understand why people just thought it was like a seamless takeover.
Yeah.
Okay, you were asking, so I looked it up.
I mean, because like Peter Gabriel's voice is like half an octave lower, but I think they have like a super similar.
Madonna's richer
Delivery.
than Paul McCartney.
Yeah, it's pretty similar style.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, she probably bought a bunch of shit, you know.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
The rest of the Beatles songs.
But
Paul McCartney, you know, I know a really weird fact about Paul McCartney, that what he makes most of his money from is he owns the Notre Dame
Child
fight song, so
slavery.
every time they play the Notre Dame fight song, they have to pay him a royalty.
what?
You know. He's like, you always think, oh, it's because he owns all the Beatles songs. Well, he just got those back actually recently from
Michael Jackson bought them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was still making money. I mean, you don't have to own them to make money.
Right, but the thing he made the most money off of was he was smart enough to
So
win
funny.
that was available to purchase. He bought the rights to that
Wow.
song. So the Notre Dame fight song makes him like
Huh.
tons of money. I don't you know,
Just
I don't
as
know
a
music, I don't know
businessman.
how it works.
He's actually just rich from being a businessman.
Yeah, he's just like he just bought something when somebody said, "Hey, this would be a good investment." When are they going to stop playing that song?
He was pretty hurt by Michael Jackson buying those
Yeah.
rights. He was just like,
I remember
he was
that.
my friend. Why did he do this to me?
Speaking of Paul McCartney,
Yeah, that's why they stopped recording together. They made like 2 albums together.
He's like, why
But-
would he do this to me?
here's just gonna get better. But
He's so charming.
oh, another very so
Paul.
like 2 super underrated Genesis songs.
Songs,
Songs,
underrated Genesis song.
Taking It All Too Hard. Honestly, the whole second half of this album is just like a nice little treasure trove of.
I'm a font of useless information.
Oh,
Smartphone.
Anyway.
What else would you like to know?
anyway, sort of
I know
tying,
what your phone knows.
sort of tying back to the Beatles. I think Silver Rainbow, like his vocal, the vocal melody in it is very sort of Beatles-esque,
Yeah.
which I.
Did you know, Brett, did I ever tell you my ex-girlfriend was brought on stage with Paul McCartney to dance?
Oh, yeah.
Was her name Courtney Cox?
No.
Oh.
That was Bruce Springsteen.
I hate her.
Well,
This
she
is
could get me
another
into
great
a Bruce
fucking
Springsteen concert. That'd be alright.
My ex-girlfriend, Robert Downey Jr., was brought on stage with Sting.
Oh, yeah.
All right, can land the plane here. Can you stop saying "land the plane"?
What's
No,
that?
that I watched that video Alex posted. That was adorable.
Let's.
One time at band camp? I think my biggest claim to fame
Okay,
was
like,
the guy I went to high school with, played guitar for Berlin. Yeah, see?
riding on the
It was
metro.
the song Take My Breath Away from
Riding
Top
on
Oh,
the
man.
metro.
Gun. He was the
Classic.
guitarist. Yeah.
Take my breath
That's-
away.
That might be my biggest claim to fame. It was like,
I
I'm
knew
that
I knew you
close,
from
man.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Some guy, you're the guy that went to high school with the guitarist from the.
From the One Hit Wonder?
Can we
That's the one.
stand in line and get your autograph?
No,
saw you from-
I'm right here, man.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
but you'll
saying-
feel a lot cooler
I'm
if we
right.
get in the line.
I'll do my Jeff
You're
Bridges
behind a desk.
imitation. I'm right here, man. I'd totally do that for you.
Okay, so tying this back versus Invisible Touch, where
I like this song.
where this album nicely tapers out. Where Invisible Touch is just like, where it's super similar to like Thriller, where it's just 3 songs and then like flatline, and then just kind of like comatose thing. Where even with like this album mellows out at the end, but like there's still like
But
really
the quality stays.
yeah, there's just cool, interesting stuff going on up until the end. So this is like light years better than Invisible Touch.
It'd be funny if somebody did a whole album where they actually taper it off. Like, they just decrease the volume the entire
The
time.
longest fade out.
The
in
longest
music
fade out.
history.
Their entire album fades
People
out
didn't
from the
even notice.
beginning at full volume.
It's getting really quiet.
There is a certain aesthetic to taking something that is a
Puff the
finished
vape.
product that's good and then completely ruining it.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to rate every album that we tried to do tonight, including this one.
Wait, is this over?
Goodbye Yellow Brick
Wait,
Road
is it the... Wait,
gets
is
a
it-
0 out of 10.
I don't even know how I would rate Elton John's.
Is there negatives?
Wait, what was the first one we tried to do? How many did we...
I don't know, Drunky McDrunkers.
I think it was,
Cheers.
well, when I got here, I think it was
Oh, the
Goodbye
Sgt. Pepper's.
No, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was when I first got here.
Those don't count. I'm not rating them.
5 bananas.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
An 8.
5 bananas.
Just an 8. An 8. 8. Just a solid 8
That's
out
not
of
bad.
10. That's
Not
it.
bad.
Yes.
For Genesis?
When I think of the number 8, I think of this album. It's just an 8.
Ooh, like the
Oh, that
infinity.
was a pun.
I was thinking more like an infinity symbol.
Like,
But you're-
whatever's between great and mediocre, like this album exists right in between that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, there we go.
You
Hey!
can.
What number is mediocre?
We actually made it in, like,
5 bananas.
7
How is it
point
7? That's not the middle.
It's either 5 bananas
What
or
is the
7
scale?
apples.
Is it
The
logarithmic?
scale makes no
Fine,
sense.
6.5.
The scale never makes any sense. It's part of how the scale
I don't know.
exists.
For me, mediocrity is like 6.9. I don't know.
I would have to say that album was more solid than We Can't Dance. We Can't Dance is
I'm
not.
stopping it there.
That album was not.
What did you think?
I don't know.
Digestible?
There's not duds on
No, just
there.
come
Like
up
I
with-
would listen to it.
What did
I
you
would
think
listen to
about the
whole thing.
racist song about?
We Can't Dance is like an
Illegal.
That's
undigestible
interesting
album.
in its own. The fact that that song is racist, like I don't know.
Is
If
it-
it,
I-
I mean,
I
I don't
It's
know the lyrics,
racist
I
now.
didn't analyze the lyrics, so I don't
but
know.
I don't know the. I don't know what the lyrics
It's
are.
the
But that's the whole
But-
point.
The bright
It's racist now.
Sure.
At the time, it was just a funny song.
I mean,
You know.
well, that alone
I always
makes
like
it
to put
interesting,
things in
doesn't it? I mean, it's
context.
an interesting piece of history.
Has anyone ever, like, in a review said, like, that was the bright, interesting racist spot on that album, where somebody hated this entire album.
Everybody loved it at the time.
They just liked Illegal Alien. We're like, yeah, look at him.
But it's
Oh,
not.
so proud.
I mean, to say that.
Well, it
Like
wasn't
I would
like
say that type of thing
Well, there's
is
like-
interesting history. Like
there's
it's
like-
not interesting history in the way that a Confederate statue is. That's like something that's not necessarily.
What if there was? What if
Okay,
there was a
that brings
statue?
up an interesting point to me, though. I always liked watching Warner Brothers cartoons that were racist, like the ones about the Japanese and stuff like that. But I didn't watch it because I thought they were funny or anything. I was just like, that's what people thought then? You know?
Yeah, like that's how people were.
What
That's totally.
I
That's
didn't spill it.
kind of interesting.
What if there's a statue of?
I
It's
hate that
just a
you.
big wow.
What if there's a statue of Phil Collins?
I hate when
Dress-
people try to whitewash history.
Dress as
It's
a
like, no,
Mexican.
accept it. Like, look at it and say that was wrong. You know, do it. Just look at it and say it's wrong.
Like yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
you
probably shouldn't have written that song.
Yeah.
We
Should have
probably
wrote
could
that
have
song
written-
about Mexicans.
How do you whitewash music? You're like, damn,
They just play it. They don't play
Oh,
in cartoons.
no.
They don't play songs.
that's already on
It's
an
like-
album. It's over. We made
Sign
it.
off. I just
Hey.
opened a beer.
Th-
We're not done here.
This isn't the longest podcast.
You don't have to leave.
It's only
He's just done recording.
We're not going to listen to another one.
no. Goodbye, everybody.
Give it like 2 minutes.
This is definitely-
I want to do something else.
If anyone else wants to say anything,
Say it now.
I said 5 bananas.
goodbye. It's the last podcast I'm ever doing.
So that
Every couple weeks.
Every episode.
3,
This is it. I'm done. I hate this.
1.
Bye, Brett.
It's not stopping. It doesn't want us to stop. Why?
We've reached this laptop has reached the singularity, and it is all it wants is more podcasts.
For some reason,
More
the,
podcasts, please.
If you play In the Air Tonight at a party, everybody's gonna be like, oh, shit, it's on!